Yes. Now please sit straight with your head neck back straight line. Visualize Swamiji's form in your third eye. Any thoughts that are coming now, let it come, let it go. Continue to be in this beautiful space of darshan, oneness space with Swamiji Paramashiva. Fill your inner space. Continue to be in that space. And now start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Chant the Mahavakya and experience the space of with the space of oneness. Scan through your third eye and manifest the power of third eye. I'm projecting the picture now. Scan through your third eye and whatever your third eye revealed, you post in the chat. Now, intensely chant the Mahavakya.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om
Yes, now please go ahead and share whatever your third day revealed in the chat. Yes, now let's enter into the Jnana session. You are not who you think you are. It is well known to science that of the trillions of cells in our body mind system, millions of cells die each day and millions of cells are reborn. After a few years, there isn't a single cell in our body which existed 2 years earlier. Every single entity in the body is new. This means that there is really no constant I as we imagine. Yet we carry that label proudly. All we are is a bunch of memories, root patterns, collectively known as samskaras. Our root pattern is define us. Our root patterns rule us and make decisions for us. That is what this I is all about. When we complete with our root thought patterns, and give up our possessions and attachment to possessions, we feel liberation. When the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism walked out of his home for spiritual wandering, he felt no loss. Today, the whole world is his home. This does not mean that all of you need to become monks, renunciates, and sannyasis. You can happily continue your normal life, but drop your attachments, fantasies, speculations, greed, and fear about the past or the future. So, you need not renounce what you already have. All you need to do achieve the space of completion is to renounce what you do not have. Renunciation does not mean sitting cross legged with a tense look and eyes closed. If enlightenment could happen by shutting off our senses, it would be easy. We would just need to sit in soundproof rooms and wear blindfolds. Renunciation, tyaga, is a state of mind and not a mere state of body. It is even more than a state of mind. It is a space of being. We can renounce attachments to relationships and possessions while being involved in material life. On the other hand, we could take sannyasa, go to the distant Himalayas, and every time we close our eyes, our inner television would switch on. The surrender that Krishna talks about involves completing and dropping fantasies of the future, incompletions of the past, and surrendering to the reality of the present. The true reality, the only truth, is that we are part of the universal energy. We are part of the collective consciousness. When we have this awareness, there is no room for the individual I and mind to rule our actions. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about renunciation. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said that Gita is nothing but Tagi, meaning Tyaga, renunciation. Sri Ramakrishna said, keep repeating Tagi. You will understand Gita. Again and again, Krishna speaks about renunciation, how we should surrender the fruits of the action to Him without renouncing the action itself, and how all knowledge and action should be surrendered at His feet. Krishna prepares Arjuna for this final moment when he tells him that all that needs to be done is surrender. That's all. Surrender is one of the three kinds. The first step is the surrender of the intellect. For most people, especially intellectuals, this is the easiest. Your ego must be ripe before it can fall. The more stuff you pack into your skull, the more bloated it becomes. You become intoxicated with your own knowledge. You become intellectually arrogant. You are then ripe for surrender. When someone appears on the scene and proves that intellectual knowledge is a pile of garbage, a person with a truly ripe intellectual ego understands and accepts the truth. Only those with half-baked knowledge and who pretend to have intellectual status have a problem in understanding such a truth. A true intellectual can understand that all acquired knowledge is a mirage, an illusion. When this happens, such a person surrenders his intellect to the master who shows him the way. Many intellectual seekers and spiritual shoppers came to me with loads of questions. After spending after spending time with the Swamiji, most of them exclaim with a great surprise that they no longer have questions. The Swamiji does not take the trouble to answer their questions. No one can answer such questions. All he does is add more words to them. They struggle with the new words and ultimately find that the right answers themselves. When he does answer, he answered the questionnaire and addressed the person, not his question. The Guru looks into the being and provides the solution. The next step in surrender is the surrender of the heart. People ask how they will remember me when they go away from the ashram. I tell them that if I am their master, they will have trouble forgetting me. Remembering me is not an issue, forgetting me is. The thought of the master will melt your heart. You will become emotional. You do not need to be in the master's physical presence. The mere thought is enough. Tears will flow from your eyes. This is a powerful form of surrender. Ramakrishna says, know this for sure. When a mere thought of your Ishta Devata, the favorite deity, or your master reduces you to tears, you are in your final Janma, your final birth. What an enlightened master says is always true. So powerful is the surrender that it can liberate you, complete you, enlighten you. This is the power of devotion, bhakti. Krishna keeps repeating that this is the easiest way to reach him. Do not worry about learning scriptures or performing rituals. Do not worry about techniques. He says, just be devoted to me and me alone. I shall save you. The third and final form of surrender is the surrender of the senses. When the surrender of the senses happens, enlightenment happens. And when enlightenment happens, the surrender of the senses happens. Walking with Arjuna after the Mahabharata war, Krishna points to a bird on a tree and remarks, Arjuna, look at that green crow. Arjuna responds, yes, Krishna, I see the green crow. Krishna says, "What a fool you are! How can a crow be green?" Arjuna simply says, "Krishna, when you told me to look at that green crow, what I saw was indeed a green crow." Such was the state of Arjuna's surrender to his master. Whatever he said was what Arjuna's eyes saw. This is the final state of surrender. The master disciple relationship is the most mysterious phenomenon in existence. It is not intellectually comprehensible, it cannot be provided in a logical way. Those who become sannyasis out of a logical conviction by listening to masters and becoming convinced that what the masters say is true are only on the periphery. The true disciple has nothing to do with what the master is saying. The true disciple has something to do with what the master is. A true disciple raised in love is not a question of conviction, it is something more mysterious than transcendental. Hence, a real disciple cannot explain to anybody what has happened. Everybody will think that he has gone mad, that he has been hypnotized, and that he has no longer in control of his senses. People who think like that are not to blame. Certain things are beyond explanation. They elude rationalization. And in fact, life begins when you come in contact with something incomprehensible, inexplicable, indefinable, and unprovable. Yet, somewhere deep down, your heart says it is so. It is falling totally in love, and it is a love of an entirely new quality. This love is not limited to the master, but it is experienced towards the entire world. You no longer think in terms of I, but in terms of you. This is compassion. This feeling of unconditional, uncalled for, uncontrollable love is compassion. This happens when your ego surrenders. It may surprise you that an enlightened master has no freedom to do what he wishes. His surrender to the cosmic energy is so total that every move he makes is dictated by that energy. Ordinary people have the freedom to do what they wish. All this talk about destiny has no meaning. Each of you has full freedom to do what you wish. After doing what you want and suffering, you claim it was because of your destiny. Whatever you do is within your power. In contrast, I have no power to move on my own. Every word I utter is at the command of Parashakti, the cosmic energy. Sri Krishna's message to enrich Arjuna and to ask all seekers is to be complete. Drop everything and surrender unto him. Ekam Sharanam Raja. Mamekam Sharanam Raja. That is the only and final solution. Any thoughts? You want to share anything? Please go ahead and share. Now let's understand deeper level of surrender. mind or master. Next is a deeper level of surrender. This is the level of the senses. The surrender of the senses means that your senses listen to what a master says. Normally, when you listen to the master, a filter is in your mind, discounts what you do not agree with. You hear what you want to hear. However, when intellectual and emotional surrender happen, you are ready to surrender this disbelief and unblock your senses. A small story. Once a disciple asked his master, "Why should I surrender?" The master asked, "How do you know whatever you think you know about yourself?" The disciple replied, "I know myself through my senses." The master asked, "Who do you think you are according to your senses?" The disciple said, "As far as I know, I am the body and mind." Then master responded, "You are God, not just body and mind." The master said, "Only when you surrender your senses will you realize the truth of what I am saying. The moment you trust me more than your senses, you experience that you are God. You then understand the meaning of Tattvamasi. Literally, you are that, meaning you are divine." The master again and again tries to show you that you are God. I keep saying, I am not here to prove that I am God. I am here to prove that you are God. The master stands for the idea that you are the infinite. He shows you various dimensions of your inner self that you have not explored or experienced. He shows you so many dimensions of your being. The master stands for your multi dimensional being. He tries to show you that it is possible. He shows that if it is possible for him, it is possible for you also. But as long as you believe your senses, you think that you are the body and mind. When you trust the master more than your senses, you understand that the master words are the truth and not your senses. Then you experience the truth of the master's words. When the master says you are God, you suddenly realize the truth for yourself. You understand that you are God. You realize that you are not the body or mind, as your senses have led you to believe. When you believe the Master's words more than your senses, you experience this truth. Two voices are speaking from two different levels. On one hand, your senses tell you that you are the body and mind. On the other hand, the Master tells you that you are God. You are divine and have many dimensions to your being. He tells you to enjoy and experience everything. And as long as you listen to your senses, you will not even listen to what the master says. When you move away from your senses and come to the master, you listen to him and experience the truth that you are divine. Final surrender itself is enlightenment. In the inner world, the first and last tool you need is complete surrender. Only then can you wake up to the truth. If Arjuna had trusted only his senses, he would have been at best a good warrior and king. Instead, he trusted Krishna more than his senses and became enlightened. He experienced the truth of Krishna. When Krishna said that the crow was green, he saw the green crow. Such was his faith. You can experience Krishna consciousness not just by surrendering the intellect and emotions, but also by surrendering a root of the intellect and emotions. That is the senses. The senses supply the data. When you surrender them, the source of the data is surrendered. When you surrender your senses, the root cognition of yourself, you lose your identification with the body and mind. As long as you believe your senses, you think that you are the body and mind. Only when you believe the Master's words more than your senses do you realize the truth that you are divine. On the other hand, your senses say you are the body and mind. On the other hand, Master tells you that you are divine and in eternal bliss. He tells you that you are the consciousness beyond body and mind. It is up to you to choose. If you believe the senses, you cannot believe the Master. And if you believe the Master, you cannot believe your senses. Your way of life decides whether you surrender to your senses or your Master. It is for you to decide. Krishna says that only when you surrender at all three levels do you have the ultimate experience. Let me tell you this: surrender itself is enlightenment. Please do not think enlightenment will be issued to you after surrendering. It is not paycheck you receive by courier. Surrender itself is enlightenment. At that moment, you experience the truth. Usually, we play with words. At least be aware of the moments when you play with words. People tell me that they have surrendered their life to Krishna, Venkateshwara, or Shiva. Then they say that their only wish is to be happy. If they are truly surrender is enough. They will know they will not need to ask for anything else. Sometimes people ask if they need to meditate since they have surrendered to God. If they had surrendered, they will have no doubts, nor will they need meditation. If they have doubts, they need meditation. As long as doubts remain, surrender has not happened. Because the moment you surrender, you disappear. Deeper level of surrender, mind or master. A beautiful verse in Tamil says, when you give your eye and mind to existence, Parashakti or existence gives her eye and mind to you. Both bank accounts merge and become one. It becomes a joint account. You have nothing to lose. When you think of yourself as body and mind, you have Shariram, Rogamayam, and Manam, Sohamayam. Shariram Rogamayam means the body is filled with diseases. Manam Sohamayam, meaning that the mind is filled with sorrows or depression. Since that is the case, what can we surrender? Absolutely nothing, except a body full of diseases and a mind full of sorrows. When you drop these two at the feet of the divine, he gives you his body and mind, and it becomes Shariram, Devamayam, Manam, Shokamayam, Atma Anandamayam, meaning you get in exchange a divine body, a mind in happiness, as well as third thing, a soul in bliss. A give one, get three free offer. Manikya Vasagar, the great enlightened master, sings a beautiful Tamil song to Shankara. Tandadu entanai, kondadu untanai. Shankara, he says, I give myself you and received you in return. Who benefited most from this bargain? Who is more intelligent, O Shankara? In surrender, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Surrendering does not mean giving up everything. It does not mean giving up your property. Keep everything. However, take care that you do not internalize them. Do not judge yourself based on your properties. You are far greater than you think. Do not judge yourself based on your bank balance. Do not judge yourself based on your relationships. Do not judge yourself based on name and fame. Do not judge yourself based on your friends. You are greater than all these things put together. As long as you judge yourself based on these things, you internalize these into your being. These become the central points in your life. They push and pull you in all directions. You will not have yourself for your being. As long as these are the major factors in your life, these things will rule you. Even so, you are greater than all these things put together. Understand that you are something beyond these things. The moment you wake up to this truth, you will not allow yourself to be put in any frame based upon bank balance, relationships, attitudes, or name and fame. These things cannot be used to judge you. The moment you wake up to this truth, you have surrendered. I simply ask you to surrender these small ideas you have about you. On the surface of the vast ocean, small bubbles are formed. One bubble starts thinking that it is an individual, long lasting entity. It thinks that it must become strong. It lasts only for few moments. Yet, within these few moments, it collects other bubbles around it. One bubble is its wife, another bubble is his son, and so on. Some are called parents or relatives, still others are friends, and so on. It collects bubbles on all sides to protect itself. It collects a few grains of sand from the beach and thinks that it is property. Its property. It thinks one grain of sand is its bank balance, another is its jewelry and treasures, and so on. Then it builds a fence to protect its property. How long can the bubble play this game? Only for a few seconds. Before it can complete its game, it disappears back into the ocean. The bubble was part of the ocean in all three instances when it was created, when it is existed, and when it is disappeared, even though it claimed to be different from the ocean, even though it thought it was an individual, and even though it thought many people and things belonged to it, it was always part of the ocean and very soon disappeared into it also. In the same way, for few moments, you think you exist as an individual being in this universal consciousness. Within these few moments, you catch hold of a few people as your relatives and friends. This makes you feel safe. You collect a few things as possessions. You feel secure with these things around you. With these things, you form an opinion about yourself. You play the same game as the bubble. What are your cognitions about this? And yes, now finally, waking up to the truth is surrender. Suddenly, the whole thing disappears before the game started. While the game is going on, and when the game ends, whether you understand it or not, realize it or not, experience it or not, you belong to the ocean. You are God. You are one with existence. You are playing a game. You register your marriage to another bubble. You register some grains of sand as your property. The registrar is another bubble. A large bubble is the ruler of the land and that bit of the ocean. And there is an understanding among bubbles. You will not hit me and I will not hit you. You will not take my bubble and I will not take yours. The whole game goes on in this way. Suddenly, within one moment, the whole thing is part of the ocean again. When I say surrender, I mean wake up to the truth that you are in the ocean. When you are born, when you think you are in, as an individual, or when you become enlightened, you are always in the ocean. Just wake up. Wake up to this ultimate truth is surrender. Surrender these small ideas about yourself and wake up to that reality. As a result, surrender automatically happens in your inner space, your inner consciousness. Otherwise, you just play with the word surrender. We use inflated words when we define ourselves. We do not realize that we are beyond these descriptions. One day, a follower used exaggerated words about himself in front of me. After he left, I told my disciple that he seemed to be suffering from an inferiority complex. My disciple were perplexed. He asked how it could be called an inferiority complex when he boasted so much. I told him, understand, each of us is God. Hence, anything we say about ourselves is lesser than that. It is an inferiority complex. Any estimation you have of yourself, except that you are God, is an underestimation. You suffer from an inferiority complex if you think of yourself as anything other than God. Drop your ideas about yourself. Wake up to the truth that you are the ocean. Some fish swim along with the current and others swim against the current. Whether they go with or against the current, all the fish are in the water. Whether you flow with existence or fight it, you are one with it. Whether or not you have realized you are divine, you are divine. There is no choice in this. There is only one choice: realize and enjoy or continue to struggle and suffer. That is all. You may try to create stronger fences around yourself or collect more bubbles around you. But can you ask the wave not to come? Whether you may do whatever you may do, the whole thing is only a drama of a few seconds. The next problem is what to do if you cannot surrender. Some people tell me, Swamiji, I am unable to surrender. What can I do? Do not worry, because you have nothing to surrender. By understanding that you have nothing to surrender, you have already surrendered. Just relax. Whether you surrender or not, this is the truth. Whether you surrender it or not, existence takes care. Automatically, life continues and you will relax. That relaxation itself is surrender. Relax into the flow of life and wake up to the truth that you are something greater than your body and mind, as suggested by your senses. You are led by society to think that you are something. Now, wake up to the truth that you are greater than what you can imagine. You are beyond any imagination you can have of yourself. Surrendering will give you a new consciousness. You will not be the same person. One single moment of surrender will transform your whole life. You will be a new being. Receive, receive this truth of surrender and work on it. Suddenly, you will wake up and give birth to yourself as an enlightened being. The moment you understand you belong to the ocean, that you are from it, that you are in it, and that you will disappear into it, you will realize that you will never die because you are in the ocean. As long as you identify with the bubble, you feel insecure. The instinct to survive and the instinct to possess torture you. The moment you realize that you are the ocean, the instinct to survive disappears because there is no death for you. There is nothing to fear, nothing to feel insecure about. Death creates fear as long as you think you are the bubble. The moment you realize that you are the ocean, there is nothing to possess because everything belongs to you. There is nothing to lose and nothing to acquire. Hence, the instinct to possess disappears. I am not asking you to legally throw away your possessions. You do not need to throw away whatever you have done for your eye and mind. You do not need to throw away whatever you have. Just do not internalize them. Within yourself, be aware and be complete that you are something greater than anything you can possibly possess. At the age of 7, your toys are important to you. Do they hold the same importance today? You have neither renounced them nor you attached to them. They are just there. Do you feel that you must return home because the toys are there? No. Do you feel the toys make your life a torture and that you must renounce them? No. You feel neither attached nor detached. You have grown beyond them. Raga means attachment. Araga means detachment. Viraga means beyond attachment and detachment. As you grow up, vairagya naturally happen towards your toys. So also, when you realize that you are the ocean, vairagya will happen towards the few sand particles and bubbles that you have collected and gathered around yourself. You will have gone beyond these things. The instinct to survive and possess would no longer be relevant to you. Your property does not suddenly disappear. They are there, but you leave them and enjoy them more intensely. You do not take you do not take them for granted. You do not feel bored with them. You do not think same house, same wife and same life. You take them for granted only when you think they are your properties. When you realize that they may be taken from you at any moment, you do not take them for granted. When you realize that you are the ocean and that they are also of the same ocean, you value them more. When you realize this, you are transformed at the level of body, mind, and consciousness. When consciousness is transformed, you give birth to a new you. Krishna goes much deeper than these three levels of surrender: surrender of the intellect, surrender of the emotions, surrender of the senses. He gives Arjuna a glimpse of the greatest surrender. He gives Arjuna a glimpse of the ultimate experience itself. Krishna already gave Arjuna the experience during Vishwarupa Darshana, the vision of cosmic form. Even so, Arjuna was unable to establish himself in that experience due to fear. Always you miss the first experience because of fear. Now Arjuna is more mature and capable of being established in the experience. Krishna gives Arjuna the experience that will stay with him forever. In the next few verses, Krishna puts Arjuna into the experience of enlightenment. He wakes him up to the ultimate truth. Krishna was waking Arjuna up from the long slumber called Samsara Sagara. This can also be called unconsciousness or tamas. Krishna gives him a good shake by giving him the ultimate experience and puts him in that state forever. I was telling you about the three levels of surrender. Krishna puts Arjuna into that final level or highest level of surrender. What are your cognitions, understanding? You can post in the chat. Now we'll move on to the power manifestation. You can post your understanding at the powerful cognition. Now, please sit straight with your head neck back straight line. Visualize Swamiji's form in your third eye. We're going to do the one more round of consciousness over matter power manifestation. Please get your objects, preferably coconut, or if you do not have the coconut at this moment, you can get a round fruit and place it in your palm. Palm should be absolutely straight. Now, visualize Swamiji's form in your inner space. Bring your awareness to your third eye. And start chanting the Mahavakya. And experience the space of oneness. With the space of oneness, declare the object, the matter in your hand to vibrate, to move, to roll.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham Nithyananda Paramashivoham Om 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 Nithyananda
Yes, now please go ahead and share your experience in the chat. We're going to do one meditation, Vata Varana. The ambience to detox bioenergy is living with the Guru, a meditation technique like a huge light which does not have any form or a direction. It can see in all direction, all the 360 degrees this way, 360 degrees this way, that's all. It is not even a globe shape. It is not undefinable. It's just undefinable, intense light in this whole area, the third eye. It is as big as your visualization can visualize. If you are trying to visualize, you should visualize as your whole visualization filled with that fire, like trillions of suns and coolness of joy and trillions of moons. So visualize in your third eye. Do this for a few minutes. The intense flame, a light, visualization, your visualization should filled with that fire, like trillions of suns and fullness of joy and You can share your experience in the chat. With this beautiful space of the surrender, and relax from this mind maze. Let's all surrender to Swamiji and experience Paramashivoham. Let's all pay our deepest gratitude to Swamiji. With the space of deepest gratitude, let's conclude with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tasat Sarvam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Nithyanandam, everyone. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow. Nithyanandam.